What was it about the early 2000s? Why does that era still live rent-free in so many people's minds, like a half-faded poster on your bedroom wall that you never took down? This was a time when every player felt like a character out of a comic book, when the music blasting through your TV felt just as important as the highlights it backed. It was an era where the culture bled into the game, and the game gave it right back. Before algorithms and political correctness, there was just basketball, bravado, and baggy shorts. And today, we're breaking down why this might have been the NBA's most unforgettable era, not by rings or analytics, but by vibe, culture, and pure, unfiltered energy.
Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man.
This era didn't just have players, it had characters. Allen Iverson wasn't just the assassin. He was a cultural shift. The braids, the tats, the sleeve, the unapologetic confidence of someone who didn't just play the game, he lived it. Kobe Bryant wasn't just a rising star who played the game. He obsessed over it. The fro, the number 8, the early swagger. He looked like a prodigy who already knew how the story would end. Then, there was Shaq. At his peak, he wasn't a player. He was a force of nature. 7'1", 325 pounds, and somehow his personality even bigger.
Can you dig it?
But it wasn't just the superstars. The league was filled with side characters that had main character energy. Steve Francis, all bounce and bravado. Stephon Marbury was raw electricity, a Brooklyn-born baller. He played with the hunger of someone who needed the spotlight. And of course, Rasheed Wallace, the human technical foul. Trash talk, talent, and a constant sense that something was about to happen. These players weren't packaged, they weren't polished. They were raw, real, and full of identity. In this era, draft classes had aura before they took a step on an NBA court. International players started to get more flair. Manu Ginobili's Euro step, Dirk's one-legged fade away. From the Great Wall of China to the Brazilian blur, basketball was going global, and it was undeniable. This era didn't need to script stars. The players were the script. The NBA in the early 2000s wasn't just a league, it was a lifestyle. It didn't exist in isolation. It moved in rhythm with what was happening outside the arenas, on the blacktops, in barbershops, and in the booth. Guys like Hot Sauce and The Professor were just as recognizable at the lunch table as NBA stars. You didn't just want to be just like Tracy McGrady. You also wanted to be like Skip to My Lou. And then there was Rucker Park, the Mecca, the place where NBA stars came to earn respect, not just give autographs. You didn't just walk into Rucker as an NBA player and expect love. You had to show out. Kobe played there, Iverson, Marbury, KD years later. Streetball was basketball with no filter, no endorsements, no league logos, just game.
It's harder to play out there than it is to play in the garden.
You're not really an NBA player, I guess, until you experience Rucker at least one time.
The Rucker's a pro court. It's just you're on the street.
Hip-hop wasn't just a soundtrack to the NBA. It was its heartbeat. Streetball and hip-hop fused together, creating this unapologetic identity that shaped everything, from the way players dressed, to the way they talked, to the way they played. Streetball wasn't beneath the NBA. In the early 2000s, it fed it. It gave it flavor. It gave it swagger. And most importantly, it gave it soul. Before YouTube mixtapes and Instagram highlights, before everyone had TikTok aura edits, two places could elevate your whole identity in basketball: the cover and the disc tray. This was the Slam magazine era. And back then, being on the cover of Slam wasn't just a flex. It was a crowning. It meant something. Getting the cover of Sports Illustrated meant more than a write-up. If your favorite player made the cover of SI, you clipped it out and stuck it to your wall like gospel. But while the magazines built the mythology, the video games let you live it. The early 2000s gave us a run of all-time great basketball games. Iverson was the face of NBA 2K. NBA Live 2005 with the dunk contest revamped and mellow on the cover. NBA Street Volume 2, where legends mixed with stylized streetball and brought a whole new aesthetic to the game. And One Streetball, for the ones who wanted that raw playground feel. These games and magazines weren't just entertainment, they were cultural archives, capturing fashion, courts, attitudes, and swagger in ways that TV broadcasts couldn't. But let's not forget about the big screen. Like Mike dropped in 2002 and became an instant classic for every kid who dreamed of lacing up magical sneakers and going toe-to-toe with real NBA stars. It was goofy, sure, but it captured the era's magic and the dream that anything could happen on a basketball court. Then there was Love and Basketball. Less about the NBA, more about the emotion behind the game. It added depth to how we saw basketball culture, not just as a sport, but as a language, a lifestyle, and something deeply personal. Coach Carter hit on everything that made the early 2000s feel so serious about the sport's impact, both on and off the court. Movies like these helped cement basketball as more than just a game. It was in our music, on our consoles, in our fashion, and in theaters. So what was it about this era? Well,
Finale on the first round for Vince Carter.
Oh, it did not. It's over. It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, they pushed him right to the brink, Marv. They had him getting very passive on offense. They turned the basketball. Look at Iverson and Kobe talking to each other right now.
Harrington talking to Pierce. And Joe DeRosa telling him to shut up. Pierce buries it right in Harrington's face.
it was raw. It was loud. It wasn't trying to be perfect. The early 2000s felt like the last time the NBA didn't care what you thought. The players weren't filtered through brand guidelines. The style wasn't crafted by marketers. The stories weren't controlled by social media algorithms. It was authentic. The outfits mattered. The sneakers mattered. The magazine covers mattered. What someone did at a blacktop park mattered. It was the collision of society with new media, old media, and basketball. And it all worked. Even when it was messy, it was memorable. Even when it was clunky, it was cool. This wasn't just a golden era for basketball. It was a golden era for culture. And maybe that's why it sticks with us so deeply. Because even if you didn't live through it, you can feel it. And I guess that's the definition of aura.